Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of That Sounds Fun. I'm your host, Annie F. Downs. I'm really happy to be here with you today on a Friday. Let's go. We have got a great show in store. Like, when I tell you this is the perfect Friday show, this is a really fun one to kick off your weekend. Before we dive into this conversation, I want to tell you about one of our incredible partners, Athletic Greens. Okay, it's hard to keep track of all the vitamins and supplements we need to take, right? So when it comes to things that will help us prioritize our health, what if there was like a way to make it super easy by just adding 1 scoop of AG1 powder to cold water instead of taking multiple different products? Listen, it happens. AG1 by Athletic Greens has got you covered. Every scoop is packed with 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients of the highest quality. They give us major benefits like gut and mood support. I need both of those in best shape. Boosted energy, even healthier looking skin, hair, and nails. Okay, hand to heaven, a friend was at my house today and she saw my AG1 sitting on the counter and she said how much she'd heard about it on the podcast and how she wanted to try it. And she did. It was awesome. AG1 is delivered to your house like clockwork every month, so it's super easy to make it a daily habit and leave it on the counter. There's no need to set a reminder to reorder or stress about running out. Plus, if you're like me and travel a lot, those single-serving travel packs help us never miss a day. We are putting those on the bus when we are headed out on tour this June. You just mix the powder into ice cold water, shake it up, drink it first thing each morning, and that's it. With AG1 being good friends to our bodies each day is really, for real, that simple. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens has given you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So go to athleticgreens.com/soundsfun. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/soundsfun. Y'all check it out. Today on the show, I get to talk with my new friends, Hudson and Emily. You may know them as the travel couple. On Instagram, they are at Hudson and Emily. So if you don't know them, y'all, you are going to love them. Okay, they are on a mission to visit every country in the world, making them one of the first and youngest couples in history to accomplish it. To put it into perspective, more people have been to space than have visited every country. Hudson and Emily are in country number 112 and on track to visit every country by next summer. The sudden loss of Hudson's dad 7 years ago made them realize life's too short to wait for the right time to pursue your dreams. We're going to talk all about it. So they ditched their corporate jobs and comfortable life in D.C., got an old RV from Craigslist, and set out to visit all 50 states. And that is how this whole thing got started. I'm so excited for you to meet these two. I cannot wait to share this one with y'all and get you dreaming about where you want to travel, maybe even this weekend. So here's my conversation with our new friends, Hudson and Emily. Hudson and Emily, welcome to That Sounds Fun.
Thank you so much for having us, Annie. I just am so inspired by your love for the Lord and so grateful for you having us here.
Well, this is very, very fun. This is a Friday episode. We drop about 1 Friday episode a month of the things I think are the most fun. And so y'all fit in that category. Hudson, what are y'all doing in America? You do not live here.
Right now, we just flew. We had a 36-hour travel day from Thailand. Got in about 2 days ago and very, very thankful to be back. We're getting some visas right now.
Yeah. So did y'all fly to Pennsylvania and then come down here?
Yeah. So we flew Pennsylvania. It was my mom's birthday. So we went to see her quick. And then we were in D.C. for some visas.
Okay. Oh, my gosh. Y'all have already in 2 days done a ton of travel already in the U.S. Bless your hearts. I mean, at this point, are planes like, do you have when you sit down, you do the exact same rhythm on a plane every time?
Well, it helps that HUD lets me lay my body the whole way on top of him, so I feel like I get 2 seats. That helps a lot in sleeping. And then, just trying to, my other hack is not planning on to get any work done. And then if I can get work done, it feels like a bonus.
Yeah. Do y'all have jobs on top of traveling?
We kind of just do a whole bunch of anything we can to try to help the cost of travel.
Yeah.
So things on selling products on Amazon.
Yeah.
We do some content creation and things like that. We've taught English, pretty much anything that we can.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, will you back up and tell us the start of the story? Y'all met in 5th grade.
Yeah, so we met in 5th grade. Actually, the very first place that we met, we traced back to, it was a trip. It was a field trip to a sewage plant.
No.
So romantic. And then, so then we had some classes together. And
the next year we had an English class together. And she was the really smart one in class.
Yeah.
And I still have trouble figuring out the difference between adjectives and adverbs.
Me too.
And then we started dating in high school, ended up going to the same college. And it was there that we came up with our original idea, which was to hopefully buy an old RV and visit the 50 states.
Okay, so when did y'all start dating and all of that?
We started dating in high school.
Yeah,
so I had
junior.
an unofficial rule that I wanted to be able to drive instead of having my mom drive us around.
Okay.
So it was like right after I got my license,
Yeah.
then we started dating.
I mean, as it grew, I guess one of my questions is, why was this the yes between y'all when y'all known each other so long? Did you both like travel? Were you in the same youth group? What was the connecting point besides just going to school?
For travel.
No, just to
in
end up
general.
together.
Oh, I always was so inspired by his joy. And the more like I fell in love with him, the more I feel that way. And through the loss of his dad, which I'm sure we're talking about. But like even from the beginning, I could just see how the joy of Jesus just like shone from him. And also how he was intentional in every area of his life, which I feel like is rare in high school, but I saw it then. And I'm thankful for how through our marriage, he's been a leader in that.
Yeah.
Well, and how we actually connected was so having classes together, but then we both played sports. So we were both at the same school after school. And she was definitely like a lot more smooth than I was. So she was the one flirting and talking. And I was definitely the typical like middle school boy, like, I got to go. So she worked really hard. Eventually I came around to realizing, okay, it helps to talk to people.
Right.
That's a good start.
So then in high school, I worked up enough courage.
Yeah. Did you purposely pick the same college?
No, actually, his brother was in the military. And so he told me he was going into the military because he knew that I would follow him.
Oh, wow.
He wanted me to make my own decision.
Yeah.
And so we ended up going to Liberty University. I told him one day, I decided on Liberty. And he was like, you know what? I'm going there too. Because his parents both went there.
Yeah.
So
I had only applied to one school, but I didn't want her. I knew she was looking at other schools, so I didn't want her just to go just because I was going there.
When did you know you wanted to marry her?
I think the first time that really came into like thought was a few weeks actually into college. I played football all through high school, but then we were playing flag football. I got a concussion. I couldn't remember anything. We were in the hospital. It was
you were with him?
Yeah, she came and like...
He didn't remember any short-term memory, only long-term memory.
But I remembered her phone number.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign that I remembered her phone number.
I just remember being like, thankfully it wasn't serious, but in that moment I was like, even if he doesn't remember any short-term memory for the rest of his life, I would still want to marry him and spend our lives together.
She was amazing at taking care of me and everything. And yeah, I think at that point I was like, I definitely, if I'm lucky enough that she sticks with me, then she's definitely the one.
Yeah. How long ago did y'all get married?
We got married like typical Christian college students.
21?
Three weeks out of college.
Yeah, that's right. That's great.
10 years, since then.
10 years. Mm-hmm. Okay. And in college, you said, we're going to buy an RV. We're going to change it. I mean, this is before Pinterest, really.
Yeah.
Right?
So that was, we really had no idea how we were going to make it happen. We decided to buy an old RV off Craigslist would be the best approach. Thankfully, it worked out and we renovated it. It actually felt like a home as we traveled. And then we went to see the 50 states. But it was as we were planning and saving for that Hud's dad passed away.
Yeah.
So we took 4 years, like after, it was kind of just a dream. Like hopefully someday we could buy an old RV and travel. And so we took 4 years. We were saving and planning for that.
And living in D.C. during that time?
Yeah, living outside D.C. area. And then during that time, my dad just suddenly passed away of a heart attack.
Sorry.
And it wasn't anything, no health problems or anything. So it was just one of those things. We were actually planning a ski trip with him that weekend.
Oh my gosh.
And then get a call that he passed away in his sleep. But that, for us, was just...
And how old were you? He was 55 and you were...
I was 24.
Okay.
So we had been married for a few years and stuff. But it was just a reminder to us, especially spiritually, that we're not guaranteed tomorrow and anything can happen at any point. And just to live more with that eternal focus and to realize that if we were known for one thing or if we want to do one thing, it's to show others God's love.
Yeah. Yeah, you sneaky Jesus a lot. I've been watching on y'all's Instagram and stuff. I'm like, oh, these people, I see what they're doing. Emily, I imagine so many of our friends listening, or a handful of our friends listening, when they've gotten married, it's been 2 years, it's been 4 years, and something tragic happens. And one of the spouses suddenly both spouses are grieving, but one of them has lost a parent, or maybe they've lost a child. What was your thinking when it happened? What was your move? What did it look like to help and support him when he was grieving? Because you were grieving too. I mean, you've known his dad.
Yeah, so his dad was definitely like a second dad to me as well. So I think just being present for whatever it looked like that day. I feel like people who go through a tragedy often say a good thing to ask is like, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
And each day that looks different. Sometimes it's crying with them. Sometimes it's listening. Sometimes it's not talking and doing something fun.
Yeah.
And then I think also we prayed even in that moment that we'd be able to look back in a couple years from then and see the ways that God worked through it.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I mean, we miss his dad so much, but it's opened up so many opportunities to be able to talk about Jesus just so naturally with people and sharing our stories. So I'm really thankful for that.
She's humble of during the time, like we went to grief share at churches, like they have grief share where people of all different backgrounds go and can just talk about loss. And there's so many tragic stories and stuff in there. Well, M kind of became the unofficial. She would make meals for everyone.
Oh my God.
Connect everyone. Being somebody who could be like a support for all these people who are going through tragic things. And then now she's amazing at pretty much everyone that we talk to, whether it's like a taxi driver or on a plane. She'll weave in just like our life of joy of Jesus and wanting to make it some eternal focus for that.
Do y'all talk to people on planes a lot?
Yes.
Yeah, you do.
She's amazing. I think I'm usually the person who put my headphones in, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
And she's always like, I want to sleep, but I feel like God's saying just to say hi.
And
then I'll wake up like an hour later and they're telling their life story to her.
Always, Emily.
Oh, man. It's so funny because I always am like, I'd rather just sleep right now. And then like I feel like the Lord tells me something to say to them. I'm like, what if this was the moment that they were praying, like, is God real?
Right.
And I ignored what I felt like I was supposed to say to them.
I should share, there's one story in particular that I remember of M's just amazing, definitely a people person, a lot more outgoing than I think I am. We were in a random airport in South Africa. I'm like, I haven't seen her in a while. Maybe I should give her a call. Then I see her coming.
You haven't seen her in the
airport?
airport?
Wait, you missed that. I went to the bathroom.
Yeah. So and I was like, maybe I should give her a call. I haven't seen her for like half an hour. And then all of a sudden I see her walking.
I mean, the idea took you half an hour to get worried. That's it.
I'm just like, that she's, she's
some
fine.
time. Yeah. Fine.
And so she's walking out with a worker who's working at the airport. And you can see they both were crying.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what happened? And she said she just felt like God told her to encourage her and just say she's doing a great job. And here, all of a sudden, that broke down the doors. That lady shared a lot of things going on in her life and was able to witness to her in the bathroom.
Oh, my
so these two strangers are just crying together. Meanwhile, I think I'm just on my phone or something. And so that's how M is always looking for opportunities to just be an encouragement to people. And that's something I really admire by her, and I'm challenged as well.
Yeah, no kidding. If I was traveling with the person who was forever sharing the gospel, I'd be like, oh boy, I gotta get my stuff together.
That sounds fun.
Hey, y'all, just interrupting this conversation real quick to share about one of our amazing partners. Y'all are going to love them, Fast Growing Trees. Okay, on Monday's episode, our friend Mark Batterson talked about his love for trees, and we could all use some green and plant life in our day, right? I love for my house, my porch, our office to be full of thriving plants, even though I may not be the best at keeping them alive. Lillian is, so that helps. And fastgrowingtrees.com has got us covered for all of our interior and exterior landscaping needs. Fastgrowingtrees.com's plant experts curate thousands of easy-to-grow plant, shrub, and tree varieties for your unique climate, from Meyer lemons to evergreens and everything in between. We're aware of all the benefits, right? The beauty, the cleaner air, but sometimes it's hard to know which plants will do best in our context. No problem, because with fastgrowingtrees.com, you get customized recommendations based on your specific needs. Plus, their plant experts are always available to help keep your plants growing healthy through the season and beyond. Thank the good Lord. Whether you're buying plants for your first home or working on a seasoned garden, fastgrowingtrees.com has experts in the field ready to support you and your plants for years to come. Just order online and your plants arrive at your door in just a few days. I am crazy about fast growing trees because we found a fiddle leaf fig tree and a ficus plant for our offices at a great price. And they have got your perfect plant match too. They are so pretty, y'all. It is making our office so awesome. And with fast growing trees, 30-day Alive and Thrive guarantee, you know everything will look great fresh out of the box. Join over 1.5 million happy fast growing trees customers, including That Sounds Fun Network and Downs Books. So go now to fastgrowingtrees.com/thatsoundsfun and you'll get 15% off your entire order. You guys, 15% off the whole order. So get 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com/thatsoundsfun. And I've got another amazing partner to tell you about, y'all. I am losing it over these partners. I love them so much. Okay, Kitsch. Do you know Kitsch? I know you guys love talking about some good hair products because you're always telling me about it on the internet, whether I'm having a good hair day or a not good hair day. We are talking about it. They say that hair care is the new skincare, but there is one brand that has taken it to the next level. Kitsch has created game-changing essentials that beauty enthusiasts swear by. From satin pillowcases to time-saving towels, Kitsch knows hair care doesn't stop in the shower. Ash on our team, you know Ashley, she is a huge fan of their satin pillowcase, and I am dying to try their heatless satin curling rollers so I can say goodbye to heat damage. They are in the mail on the way to me. I cannot wait. These are the original, the OG, and the best heatless curlers. Don't settle for the knockoffs when you can get the ones that started the craze that you are seeing on every social media reel. Whatever your budget, your skin type, your hair care, Kitsch believes in little indulgences at affordable prices, morning, noon, and night. They started in 2010 by selling hair ties door to door, literally just a hustle and a dream. I'm so impressed. Kitsch is self-funded, female-founded, let's go, and now carried in over 20,000 retail locations. Okay, so Kitsch's bestsellers include those satin pillowcases, satin caps, eye masks. Satin is vegan and cruelty-free, and they are so great for your hair and skin while you sleep. Kitsch also has rice water shampoo bars that could help with overall hair growth and density, and rosemary scalp oil that'll help support scalp health and hair strength from root to tip, and so much more. Yes, please. Right now, Kitsch is offering my friends 30% off your entire order. You guys, 30% off. You just go to mykitsch.com/thatsoundsfun. That is right. 30% off anything and everything at MyKitsch. Okay, so that is mykitsch.com/thatsoundsfun. One more time, mykitsch.com/thatsoundsfun for 30% off your order. Okay, now back to Emily and Hudson.
That sounds fun.
What is y'all's faith story? Did you grow up Christian? Was there like a moment, or what is the story?
We both grew up Christians, and I feel like there's definitely been ups and downs for me. But through it all, I feel like I've had a unique perspective on eternity, and even more so when we lost Hud's dad. Just that it's like, if I truly believe the Bible is real, then I want to live out intentionally every part of that, and especially in sharing my faith. And then I think even through the past few years of some of the difficulties with Christianity mixing with politics, I also feel even more strongly that I just want people to know us for the love of Jesus.
Yeah.
We really realized that we've had amazing opportunities of being able to travel and actually be witness to people of other faiths. So it's been really cool to be on the other side and get to learn. We love traveling, getting to meet people of different cultures and just learn more about their faith. And it's opened the doors for us to share about our faith as well. But it's really cool to kind of be able to step out and see oh, I understand now, when somebody's sharing. Also, I think we use a lot of Christianese terms and realize, saying some things may not connect because they'll use terms that we don't know. And we're I got to look this up. What does that even mean? But we're from amazing Christian background, great families and stuff. But I think we've definitely been challenged to live with an eternal focus now.
I do not think anyone has ever witnessed to me from another religion. That has got to be a fascinating experience.
It's so cool.
For people to try to get you to convert to their religion.
Yeah. And different, some people who are Muslim, some people who are Buddhist. And one thing that also I really took away from it is it being more of a conversation. So like this one guy did a great job of probably what was presenting his equivalent of the Romans Road.
Yeah.
Going
Very
through the
like
specific-
point by point. But I didn't get a word in, and I wanted to talk to him. I wanted
We
to
wanted to
ask
ask questions.
Yeah.
But he was just next thing.
And so
Oh my
that's
gosh.
inspired me of like how can we make this more of like a natural conversation and also learning about what other people believe through the process and allowing them to share, So I think that is just a reminder to me of how I want to approach conversations with other people.
Yeah. Okay. So, but first y'all did the 50 states.
Yes.
So what year was that? When did y'all do the 50 states?
That
Well,
was
that's
we took off January
2017.
2017.
Okay.
And yeah, we love traveling the country. We also are thankful that we sold that RV because we're always worried about is something going to break down?
Yeah.
We were so we're budget travelers. So we were in a big old RV that made it an adventure of like, hopefully we make it to our next destination.
Oh my gosh.
Fortunately, no major issues, but
Yeah.
probably daily or every other day, something's breaking.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So you had to be like a repair person.
I'm not a mechanic, so we had to be really good at YouTube.
Yeah.
Figuring out like, okay, they say that this is how to fix it, so cross our fingers and hopefully it works.
What about the rest of your friendships? Like, what happens with your friendships, particularly when you're doing the 50 states, now that you're doing every country in the world? What happens with the rest of your friendships?
The 50 States was fun meeting up with friends from college that kind of spread out all over the country.
Yeah.
And we definitely miss the community aspect of things as we're traveling out internationally. And I am so thankful for a few friends that have been super intentional to encourage us and stay connected with us. But then when we come home, we're always trying to meet up with as many people as we can.
Yeah.
And Em is definitely more of the outgoing relational person. So we spent a long amount of time in Thailand and Mexico.
Yeah.
And so there, Em actually started Bible studies in both of them.
Oh my
and connecting with girls of all different faiths and backgrounds. So everywhere she goes, she's finding people, connecting with people. Again, I'm probably on my phone or something like that instead.
Do y'all know your Enneagram type? Is there a type you connect with?
I am convinced Heidi is a 7 and me probably like a 1 or 3. But we always say we're like, it's not set up for people that have been not having a home. And so I would love, to look into it more.
Yeah. Okay. I was just like, man, your personalities are so interesting.
Yeah. Anything that comes to mind?
Yeah. No, girl, I would never try to guess what you, because it's not so much more about why you do what you do versus what you do, right? But I'm just really interested that, and I think it's a real important thing for people to hear that, especially on people who aren't married yet. You sometimes think, when I find my partner, I will find all the friendship I need. And what y'all are reinforcing is, no, you need more friendship. Like each other matters, but you need other friendships too to maintain globally, I guess, for your case.
We laugh, like we have so much fun together. We're best friends, but there are so many moments that we will get at each other. Like we were in Switzerland, home of chocolate, at a chocolate factory, at a tasting of a chocolate factory, and we got in an argument. And so I'm over here stuffing my face in one corner. He's stuffing his face
We were
in
in
the other
separate
corner.
quarters.
Oh my gosh,
eating
you're like,
unlimited
I'm gonna be
chocolate.
over here.
Like,
We're like, of all places. So yeah, it
but
happens.
through the RV, traveling together, being side by side 24/7, we've realized, one, you have to make up pretty quickly because we are together and going through it. And that's been amazing. But two, we're thankful that it's not like a reality show that somebody's recording all the moments because we definitely have our moments for sure.
Yeah, I definitely value friendships back home, and especially the people that it just blows me away. People, my friends who are busy with their own lives, that have kids, and are intentional to reach out to us. Just really means a lot.
So you finished the 50 states. Did you have one that was like, I'd never been here and now I love it? Is there like a favorite out of the 50?
Idaho was probably the most surprising to me. Maybe not like my top favorite, but definitely one that I didn't know what there was to see. There's so many waterfalls, green. But I told Hud, I was like, we need to move to Nashville someday. I love it.
Come on. We would love to have you here.
We spent like a month in the RV around, what time was that?
Oh, it was during like the CMT Awards and
Oh,
CMA
yeah,
Fest. So probably the best, most like sunshiny time to be here. We loved it.
Do y'all, when you're scheduling going around the world now, because now you're doing every country in the world, when you're scheduling going around the world, are you chasing sun? Are you chasing winter? Or how are you scheduling?
Definitely not chasing winter.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either.
It's much warmth as we can. And then also just trying to plan things around flights. And we find, since we're trying to travel on as much of a budget as possible, that when we're in a region, it's a lot cheaper to hop from country to country there than flying back to the U.S.
Sure. And like knock out, like y'all just did, you just got back from Thailand, but you hit a couple of countries, right?
Yeah.
So we're
Like
finished with
Eastern.
unfortunately. We love Southeast Asia. So we're finished with Southeast Asia now. We're heading to West Africa next.
Okay.
Going to be a lot of overlanding and overnight buses and
Yeah.
stuff. So excited for the challenge ahead, but also really going to be missing Southeast Asia food and the people. We're so kind.
So you've done 6 continents?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's left?
And we have Antarctica as far as our last continent.
Wow. When's that?
Hopefully,
I don't know. It's so
we-
expensive.
It's
we
so
love watching
expensive.
videos
Yeah.
and stuff of it. So hopefully at some point
Yeah.
we'll make
Yeah.
it there.
Yeah. I am curious. How many have you done now? 113
13.
out of.
The U.S. is 195, so that's the list that we're going. 193 is the UN, 195 is the U.S. So.
Okay. And you're going with the 195 list.
Yes. Yeah.
Will you tell the story about North Korea? I just
Yeah.
watched that video. I thought that was so interesting because you can't technically go to North Korea.
For Koreans and Americans right now, you can't travel to North Korea. So for us, we're just traveling we're not going for any official records or anything. It's just our own goal. But with North Korea, organizations like Guinness Book of World Records, for Americans, they recognize going to the DMZ, which is the line, demilitarized zone between South and North Korea.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to go there, to have a tour and learn just what people in North Korea who aren't allowed to leave their own country as well, all that they're going through. And from a Christian perspective, to know better how to pray for them, to see specifically and pray for hopefully something in the future to change.
Yeah. Yeah. I was wondering how often you bump into like unreached people groups. Like, is that something you notice? Is that something you think about when you're going somewhere?
That's something I try to pray for every day in whatever country that we're in, is for the unreached people. And one of our most amazing moments was in Indonesia, on this small island off the coast of Bali. We booked this $4 homestay. And
Y'all are budget travelers and I'm a bougie traveler. So I'm like, oh, $4.
We hope we love.
I would love to be a
that.
bougie
Yeah,
traveler.
me too. I go to one country bougie. Y'all go to 100 budget.
That's
It's
one thing that
brilliant.
we definitely want to say is, and as far as travelers, there's some travelers who are very much like, this is how you have to travel. You need like a backpack, nothing more. We're like, that would be like saying you need this type of car.
Yeah.
Like it depends on
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
whatever.
Every piece of travel is the right way to travel.
We travel
Yeah.
differently
Yeah.
to different regions.
Yeah, yeah,
so.
yeah.
But in
But-
this homestay, they just randomly, when we hadn't said anything, just started talking to us about Jesus and said that they
Oh,
were
wow.
Christians. And here, the father had, and everyone on the island is Hindu, had one day had a vision about this amazing man that was full of love, had no idea who it was. And then maybe 10 years later, missionaries came and talked to him about Jesus. And he was like, you know what? That is who I had a
my
dream about.
gosh.
And so it was just incredible to hear how the Lord worked through his life and how
Yeah.
through those missionaries being faithful to following the Lord, he became a Christian, and they're still one of the only Christians on that island, and somehow we stayed in their homestay.
Yes.
But it was an amazing blessing to us and huge inspiration.
Are there any other countries you can't go to or that we can't go to?
As far as right now, Syria is a country that is also difficult to travel to, but
Yeah.
countries change very quickly, like
Yeah.
what the situation is. So hopefully we should be able to visit
Yeah.
every country.
Yeah. I wonder if it counts if you go to the Golan Heights in Israel and be like, there it is. I like literally see Syria. I can see it right there.
Yeah, I know
A
that
beautiful
episode.
area,
We're
yeah.
saving that one for probably last, but we're hoping that, like some countries that have been previously really hard for Americans to travel to, like Saudi Arabia, are fairly easy now.
They're now some of the easiest.
yeah.
and-
Saudi Arabia is also one of our most inspiring moments of someone's kindness. Uber driver picked us up and was apologizing to us for not giving us a gift to welcome us to his country.
Oh my gosh.
An 8-minute Uber ride. And so then he found this cafe and was insisting to buy us coffee, sit us
Oh
down,
my
give us recommendations,
gosh.
and he would not take anything for it. And then
Middle Eastern hospitality is on a whole nother level.
Yeah,
so many
really.
times people would have us for tea or invite us to their house or try to give us gifts of like free food and inspired us a lot. We're like, we're not on that level of hospitality.
Yeah. Do you try to say yes?
Yes.
Is that kind of the goal?
As often as we can, we found that that's one of the best we try to be planned, unplanned travelers because we realize planning too far ahead. We joke that all of our arguments happen if we're either hungry or rushed. So try to always have a little snack or something with us.
Yes.
And then also, have time for those experiences.
Yeah. What happens if you get, and you can tell me a story, you cannot tell me a story. What happens if you get somewhere you don't like?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like some of the countries that we might not like are more so not liked because of the particular experience that we've had. Like when we got bed bugs in Brussels, or there's been a couple places we've had things stolen from us. But it ends up that some of those countries end up being our favorites. Like South Africa, we had $700 taken from us, but we loved.
Someone just walked up, like they just took it from.
It was a
whole setup
scam.
Yeah, but
we're new travelers too. We're learning all the time.
But South Africa is still one of our favorite countries for the beauty and the other people that we met who were still really kind.
And we realized too, it's just like everywhere. It'd be like visiting the U.S. for a week, and the only place you go is New York, and then you assume you know the whole country, you know the people.
Right.
One example was when we were in Romania, we were in Bucharest. And long story of people were telling us, workers, that we didn't pay for the bus ticket, even though we had.
Yeah.
They were trying to have us pay a fine. Turns out the whole entire bus is overhearing this. All of a sudden, the whole bus of just travelers on a public bus stand up. They're yelling at the people. We don't understand.
Yeah.
And then
they were local, so they were communicating in.
So in Romania, we had no idea what was going on. We didn't know if they were mad at us. Or then all of a sudden, they start passing up money at cash. And it was like an $18 fine. And they're like, we want you to remember Romanians as the kind hospitality.
Wow.
And we had no cash. We were trying to say no. But they were so kind. People gave us their numbers. They're like, if you're in Romania again, come back. And so that would have been an experience where we would have been like, oh, people in Romania, there's a scam.
Yeah.
To now, some of the nicest people that we've ever met.
Yeah. What do you know about God that you didn't know before you started seeing all these countries?
So much.
I think in travel, definitely one of the biggest things that we've learned is to, especially being able to travel and be majority in cultures that aren't Christian and stuff, that everyone has.
And that don't speak English and that aren't white and all the things that we are. Yeah.
It's definitely way different than us growing up in our same small town and having a great church and everything. But is that everybody has the same core needs and desires, even as different as we all are. We're all searching for that desire that we believe God's put in our hearts, that we all want the larger picture of being loved, and to just, I think, especially sharing about God, that everything is an opportunity to share about Him, where, like I said, I put my headphones on or something. Just being kind instead of I used to think sharing the gospel means I'm either going to lay out the Romans road or not say anything at all. Em does such a good job and really challenges me.
I think it's just become more of a natural conversation with people, that it can just be freedom and joy and flowing from who we are, instead of not sharing because I'm getting so caught up in, do I have the right words? Am I going to make sure they know everything? It's just a lot more natural now.
Yeah. When you're doing that, I'm just curious, did you mean to be missionaries?
No, one of the biggest things we've learned, because we've had the opportunity to meet up with missionaries along the road, is our heart for missionaries. They're the real rock stars, giving their whole lives to go to areas, to not have that community, to serve, and how certain areas that used to not be Christians that are now Christian areas are literally because 100 years ago missionaries went there and were just faithful, and it's not always a huge conversion. It's not a big revival happens. It's just faithful years. I'm a little partial because I'm named after a missionary to China, Hudson Taylor.
Yeah, that's right.
So we think missionaries are rock stars for sure.
Yeah, I joke all the time that missionaries and pastors who are faithful in the long term to their congregations, and we don't know their names, they will get to sit in heaven and I'm cutting grass. I know. I know. If I get in it all, I will get
Annie.
in, but I'll be
Okay,
cutting grass.
Annie.
I'll be cutting grass. Because they are just, those are the people that nobody cheers for, that are doing every day, doing work that matters so deeply.
But can we also say that I cannot wait to someday see in heaven the web of impact that you've made, and then all those people that have gone on to impact other people because of your love and faithfulness to the Lord.
Well, you're very kind. I appreciate that.
That sounds fun.
Hey, friends, just interrupting this conversation one more time to share about another amazing partner, Crew. We can easily take for granted our easy access to Scripture. We pull up the Bible on our phones. We find one in any translation we want to, and probably have more than one at home. You have more than one on your phone. But take a second and think about if you didn't have access to a Bible, or even allowed to have one. I genuinely cannot imagine. But that is the reality of so many people around the world. Sharing that hope and peace with others is something that is close to my heart and y'all's heart. I know when we talk about Crew, y'all talk back to me. And it's why I wanted to tell you again about one of our amazing partners, Crew. Crew has people doing ministry in almost every country on earth, and they are seeing people come to know Jesus. And one thing they are missing is a Bible in their own heart language. So many of you signed up to give last season, and I cannot thank you enough for doing that. But one of their partners on the ground just asks us to keep praying for them and to keep sending more Bibles to distribute. So friends, we get to meet that need. Let's go. For only $25 a month, you can provide 3 people with Bibles each and every month. And when you sign up to provide 3 Bibles with that monthly gift of $25, you're also providing meals to 15 hungry people through their humanitarian aid ministry. Plus, as a little thank you, you receive a free copy of my book, Chase the Fun. So you just simply text CHASE to 71326 to help today. Imagine just how much this gift could change someone's life. So text CHASE to 71326. That's CHASE to 71326 to help now, or visit give.crew.org/chase. Message and data rates may apply, and it's available to U.S. addresses only. And one last amazing partner we get to share with you today is Shopify. Y'all know that sound? That's right. It means that another one of you is buying one of the products or resources that we have over at shop.anniefdowns.com, which is powered by Shopify. Money is far from the top of my list of favorite things. Y'all know that. It's one of our currencies, but it's not our most important currency. But it really does matter to me that we connect you with the resources like Let's Read the Gospels guidebook and books like Looking for Lovely. We want to get those things to encourage you and bring light and fun into your life and into the lives of the people you love, but we can't get them to you without the right e-commerce partners like Shopify. So many of you are entrepreneurs and have a passion to get what you've created in the hands of people who will love it too. You need Shopify, you guys. I know that there are a lot of you who have the dreams of selling jewelry or stationery or your latest homemade dessert online if it's gluten-free. Yes and amen. And you need a way to set it all up. From an in-person point of sale system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform, Shopify covers every sales channel. It even lets you sell across social media marketplaces like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Shopify gives you complete control over your business and your brand without having to learn really any new skills in design or code, thank the Lord. And thanks to 24/7 help and an extensive business course library, Shopify is there to support your success every step of the way. Now it's your turn to get serious about that passion project that you want to get out into the world, and try Shopify today. This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. So sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/soundsfun, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/soundsfun to take your business to the next level today. Shopify.com/soundsfun. And now back to finish up our conversation with Hudson and Emily.
That sounds fun.
Where do you have left that you can't wait to see?
We haven't been anywhere in West Africa yet. So
Okay.
East Africa, North Africa, South Africa, would love to like.
So
the
West
different-
is Sierra Leone,
Yes.
Ghana,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So a lot of overlanding. Pray for us. Bumpy roads ahead of us.
Yeah, that's right.
Surprisingly, we still haven't been to the Bahamas and a bunch of the Caribbean
Yeah.
countries.
Oh,
which
okay.
We lived
Great.
on the east coast of Mexico for 2
Yeah.
years, so you would think
You
that
did
we
2
went.
years in Mexico.
Yeah, we loved it. But we're laughing that it's like, oh, okay, we haven't seen much of the Caribbean, so we're looking forward to that also.
Yeah, because with 80 countries left, there's like chunks that I'm not aware of that y'all haven't. I mean, I guess have you done Russia?
Not
No,
yet, and
yeah.
not.
Yeah, it's a complicated time.
We've spent a few months in the Middle East, but still have a lot there. I'm excited for Pakistan. I've heard the people are amazing, and it's beautiful with the mountains.
So you'll do East Africa next.
West Africa.
Sorry,
yeah.
you'll do West Africa next. How many countries will you hit when you go on this next leg?
17 coming up.
Holy
and then-
cow, you guys. 17? Are you just going to like cruise your way down and through?
We were laughing because in DC yesterday we had to get just 5 of the visas, and we had 200 pages of paperwork to submit for these 5 visas, and we're like, oh my word, this is a long road ahead of us.
This is something about our personality that we found through travel and
Yeah.
being together 24/7. We laugh all the time that I'm more like somebody who has binoculars on my face, that
Yeah.
I'm always looking at the future. That's how this whole thing started. It was kind of like a joke type
Yeah.
thing. Like, we started traveling, we love travel. I was like, it'd be cool to go to all the countries.
Yeah.
And M is like somebody in the dark with a flashlight who sees the task right in front of her and she
Wow.
makes it happen.
Yeah.
So then like the next day she comes with like research and is like, well, if we did, we would go to these places first and do that.
Oh, wow.
So sometimes that works amazing. And then other times we have trouble in that middle area or
Right.
we butt heads
Right.
of like,
A lot of days are like, how are we going to do this? Will it even happen? But we're excited to try
Yeah.
and just take
so
it day by
thankful
day.
for the experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long does this 17 country trip last?
This one will be 6 weeks, which is one of the shorter spans that we've done. Normally,
Yeah.
we're out of the country for 6 months and then come back. But because of needing visas, we're going to have to come back more often.
So this will be a lot faster than we normally travel. Normally some countries we spend more than a month there, and then sometimes ones that are smaller it will be just a day or two. But yeah, we're really excited for the ventures ahead, and also just super grateful for the connections with people. So I'm excited to see this culture and hopefully connect with people along the way.
What did y'all do in 2020? Had you already started?
We were in Mexico so that was
Oh,
only
got it.
supposed to originally be 6 months.
Oh, there we go.
Turned to
Okay.
a year and pandemic happened. So
Got it.
it was
We had already started, and we had
Yeah.
to cut it short and come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, really thankful.
Where's all your stuff? Do you have stuff?
My parents thankfully have this old barn that we have a lot of things stored in, but majority of
Yeah.
it we sold. We don't have a car. We sold our bicycles. Yeah, we very little we have left,
Yeah.
but what it is my parents' barn.
We realize how little we need stuff when we have like a 40-liter backpack that we travel out of. So
Yeah.
it makes us realize like, oh, there's a lot of stuff that we think is very important that when it comes down to what can I fit in this area,
Yeah.
and we don't need it as much.
When y'all are when you're planning this West Africa trip, are you thinking climate? Are you going, okay, we need to, when we're packing, we need to make sure that we're in all warm weather countries and we only bring warm weather things?
It definitely helps. Yeah, right now I think I'm gonna have 4 shirts for the trip.
Oh my gosh, 4 shirts for 6 weeks?
It's ridiculous, but I'm thankful that it's all similar climate instead of times where we have to bring
Yeah.
like a winter coat too.
Yeah. Do you have to give up wanting to wear more than 4 shirts? Like, do you have to give up
It's hilarious if if you scroll through my Instagram, you'll see that I'm wearing the same
Yeah, the
thing
green. You
over
do have a
and
green
over.
shirt, I
Yes,
saw, yeah.
over and over again. And so yeah, I've definitely given up a lot of wanting to look half stylish.
We're definitely not stylish. Like,
Yeah.
I think this is what I wear every day, basically.
Yeah, and then you just learned how to do laundry in every situation, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's always fun, the daily things, figuring
Yeah.
out like things like haircuts or groceries, or especially traveling on a budget.
Yeah.
It's always a fun challenge and stuff, but people's hospitality really blows us
Yeah.
away. And in those daily things is usually when we end up meeting people too.
Charging your technology?
Oh, don't get Hud started with that.
I think
Good.
if
I
there's
really
a
want to know.
if there's a phobia of like not having things charged, it started from the RV days. So
Uh-huh.
we would boondock a lot. So you don't
I
have
don't know
short.
what that means.
So you're not plugged into anything.
Got
so
it.
you live off of. We didn't have solar panels, unfortunately. That would have been an upgrade I would have
Yeah.
loved. But you have a generator, and there's a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
So you have to charge everything, and
Yeah.
then if it dies, then it's
There you
dead.
go. Yeah.
So I think I developed a phobia of that.
Yeah.
since-
So when you land in a country, you're like, okay, I've got 85%. We need to have somewhere to charge in the next 2 hours.
Yes, there's I think a little clock inside my
Yes.
head of when we check in someplace. And normally there's like in budget places, there's only one plug and it's like out in the kitchen or something, like the common area.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's always a funny little challenge.
If someone's packing a tiny bag with them and they're like, I have this little pink away bag that is as small as a book.
Wow.
And it goes on every trip with me and it has like 5 things in it. Do you have a bag like that? And what are your things that go with you everywhere, no matter what?
I think definitely a portable power bank.
Yeah.
We've had moments where our phones have died and we're like, we don't know how to get back to our Airbnb.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have Google Translate. We don't have Google Maps. So that's definitely an essential.
For me, toiletry wise, I love these little Goo tubes. It just like they fit so much more than this little tube you would think would hold. And so that's helped me because I still want to have like my good shampoo with me and everything like that.
I would too. Yeah. I always have like a granola bar. And
yes.
Because I'm flying from Nashville to Orlando. So I'm fine. But I just am like, I always have to have medicine in case I have a headache. And I always have to, like that kind of stuff.
A snack we found, I think, saves our marriage a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think you know? I don't know if you can answer this, but I bet you can. What do you think you know about marriage that you wouldn't have known if you didn't travel like this?
Wow.
One of the biggest things I think is just that small things don't matter. And we realize that like things can build up over time.
Yeah.
And we'll carry that emotional baggage with us from country to country to country, often forgetting what the original argument was about, probably because we were just hungry.
Yeah.
Like one of our arguments that we had was we bit off a little more than we could probably chew. We were in the Serengeti in Tanzania.
Yeah.
We were self-safaring, so driving by ourselves, and it was amazing. There were it was during the Great Migration. So in Lion King, when you see all the millions of wildebeest, so we got to see that amazing experience. But the one thing they told us is they said, don't drive at night because they shoot poachers. So if you're out at night, they'll shoot. And so it's getting dark, we're running out of gas, and there's lions that are in the middle of the road. They're not moving. And we were great up until that point, but a little bit, on edge because we're like, we got to make it to our campsite. I wanted to film for some reason. I wasn't thinking. I was like, there's lions. Like, if it's a bad situation, let's record it.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of an argument. I was like, God, this is not the time. Please keep your hands on the wheel.
Unfortunately, we made it out of no lion bites or anything. Out of the situation. But realizing, like, not to take that argument to the next place.
And I think when we realize we have some of like the same repetitive things, so then taking the time to address, okay, let's not let this continue that tomorrow we're still arguing about the same thing and next week we're still arguing about the same thing. Let's take the time to talk through it, address it, pray through it, and hopefully grow from that.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to think you made a joke on Instagram where you said that you hope to fall in love with him chewing ice. And that's been like the entire
Still working on that
one. I mean, so things like that. I mean, I think what you're saying is things like that just lose more and more importance the longer you're in Tanzania and there's lions, or the more you see of the world, the more you're able to balance what matters most.
I feel like I'm learning that just about life in general. Like, everyone always says it's like the world is so much bigger than we realize. But when I see people who are going through like poverty and real struggles, it just changes like the posture of my heart to, just want to be grateful for every moment and realize, that the world, I love what you said about, it's like the world is so much bigger than we think it is, but also everyone at their core has the same hopes and dreams to be loved.
Yes, I will think about that for a long time. That is a really interesting thought, that every human is longing for the exact same thing, no matter what you grew up in. So I used to live in Scotland. I don't know if you know that about me. I lived in Scotland.
In Edinburgh, right?
Yeah. Did you love it? Can we just talk about Scotland for a minute? It's the best, right?
Incredible. It literally does feel like Hogwarts, or like I see why it was written there.
I know. Did you like it too, Emily? Just tell me.
Oh, my word. See, I'm embarrassed to say this, but I don't even love the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, no, you don't have to be embarrassed about that.
Seeing it in real life, I was like, this is gorgeous. Like, this is what dreams are made of.
I was getting her on board a little bit more.
Yeah. There you go. Did y'all get to do Ireland while you were there too?
Yes.
We did.
Okay, so you've knocked out all of that.
Yes.
So what's mostly left is Middle East and Africa and Bahamas?
Yeah, so we have the Caribbean, Pacific Islands, and then West Africa, and like the parts of Middle East.
Yeah. Wow. Finished South America.
Yeah, we have a few countries extra
Okay.
in there, but
Oh my
hopefully
gosh, can
we
you imagine
can.
that? We got to go back and get 2 more. We got 2 left.
How long were you in Scotland for?
I lived there for most of 2011.
That's
Wow.
incredible.
Yeah, and I go back and visit my friends once a year when it's not a
Wow.
pandemic.
Oh.
Once a year.
That really
must
is
have
a
been a
dream
dream.
area.
Oh my gosh, it's just unbelievable. I say a lot that if planes stopped flying, I would be at home and I would miss home. And if I was there and planes stopped flying, I would be at home and I would miss home.
Wow, that is beautiful to be able to say that.
I love it there. Yeah, I'm very at home there. Okay, so what's the timeline for finishing? Do you have a timeline, or is that part of not planning too far ahead?
We're hoping sometime in 2024 is our goal.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see. Depends on visas.
Yeah, that's
Visas.
right. And so when you come home, you always go to Pennsylvania.
Oh, our families are there.
Yeah.
So, but we have friends all over the country. So who knows where we will end up someday? We still have a lot to figure out.
Yeah, how do you control your minds? I mean, so everyone listening has to do this about, well, when we have our 4th kid, then, and you're like, you've only got 2 kids, you don't have to worry about that. Or when in 2024, when we're done with this, I mean, how do you control your mind to not worry about what is in front of you?
This is a great question because it's something every day I think that we're thinking through of, how are we going to do this? And I know that our situation is so minor compared to actual issues in the world, but something that has helped me that I've learned from scuba diving is they tell you, because as soon as you go down scuba diving, you get these feelings of like anxiety and like, what if I'm going to drown here? And they say, just take one breath at a time. And if you're taking that one breath, you're okay in that moment.
Wow.
And then the next breath, if you're okay in that moment. And so I've applied that to my life. It really helps. Sometimes I take an actual breath and I'm like, I'm okay in this moment. And but just the idea that, I can do what I have right in front of me today, and I can seek the Lord in what He has for me today. And tomorrow will worry about itself,
Yeah. Yeah. What about you? I mean, it sounds to me, Hudson, like you're your plug phobia. Your brain may work like mine too, of like there's just always something to worry about.
Yeah.
And so what's your, men and women think so differently about this stuff. So how does your brain process not worrying about what you can't do yet?
Well, fortunately for me, my family always jokes that my secret weapon is that I'm married to somebody who is able to handle everything. They're like, I would be worried about you, but you're married to M. So I'll make sure, like even in college, we graduated a year early. She's the one, I probably would still be in college 10 years later. She's the one who helps with all that. So I think for me, definitely as a husband, the desire to like support family and everything. But I think especially since my dad passed away, just realizing that in the end, the only thing that we're going to be judged on isn't necessarily like how great of life did I provide for my family, but did we show others the love of Jesus?
Yeah.
And so it's a struggle every day to try to remind myself that. But I think when we have those amazing experiences and get to meet people of all different faiths and backgrounds, it really puts those things in perspective.
Yeah.
I also think that your his binocular focus, like looking out in the future, has helped us to just take things like day by day, but also have that eternal focus and more intentional focus on our goals.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for how you lead us in that.
Yeah. Y'all are like one of a kind. I mean, I don't know anybody else like y'all. And so I think this is so interesting. People love thinking about travel and talking about travel, but y'all have put a purpose behind it and learning behind it that I think is going to pay off for a really long time.
Thank you.
I'm excited to watch you finish your last
84.
Yeah.
83, I think now.
Yeah. I mean, you're over the hump, by far over the hump.
Thank you.
I think
Really
for
doing it.
one thing that I thought about for people traveling, that before we started traveling, we weren't big travelers at all. And we always build it up in our minds like it's going to be a big thing. Like if I'm traveling, especially overseas, I haven't done that. But we realized, like, especially just make a list. Like someday there's 4 or 5 places I'd love to travel to someday.
Yeah.
You can travel like maybe start on a budget and you can see so many places. God opens up so many amazing opportunities if you just go.
Yeah.
And then just, go and see maybe someday every 5 years or so.
Yeah.
Take a trip and just see the opportunities that God has for you.
Yeah. My personality gets very all or nothing. And so when I travel places new, I always have to go, you don't have to see everything and taste everything and meet everyone. There is a world where you could come back here someday.
Yes.
So if you got to come back, how would you live differently? And I just have to like release the desire to vacuum everything.
We definitely feel that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I bet. Yeah, but I can save money again. I can go in another decade. Also, the Lord will make a new earth and I'll be here
Yes,
forever.
amen to that.
I mean, I have to talk myself through all of that when it comes to. Also, you swim with sharks, by the way. Emily.
Oh my word. He convinced me to go scuba diving with bull sharks, which are like the second or third most dangerous shark.
You
and
just jumped in too
no,
in the video.
I would. That was one of the most terrified things I've done.
So
But
we had seen
I'm-
a whole, like, when you scuba dive, you see
Yeah.
sharks regularly and everything.
Ugh.
But bull sharks, they always say if you see a bull shark, don't swim towards a bull shark.
Yeah.
This was a very, set up to
Controlled.
be controlled.
Yeah.
But I'm very thankful we did it after I was done. I
Oh
was
yeah,
thankful.
When you're back out, you're like, thank you. We're good.
But genuinely, thank you, Annie, for the blessing you've been to me and like thousands of people and how
You're
faithful
kind.
you are in sharing the love of Jesus with
Thanks,
people.
friend. I'm glad I get to go with you everywhere in this way. I think that's really fun when people tell me where they're listening to the podcast or where they're listening to Let's Read the Gospels, and you just go like, oh man, I get to go everywhere. I get to be with all these people. It means a lot to me. Okay, the last question we always ask, you have to answer individually.
Okay.
I'll start with you, Hudson. Because the show is called That Sounds Fun, tell me what sounds fun to you.
One thing I'm really looking forward to is just a little checklist thing when we see the Great Wall, that'll be our last wonder of the world that we see.
Oh, wow.
So it'll be a fun little check-off thing to be able to
Okay.
see. So excited to travel to China and see the Great Wall.
I've been to China and I loved it. I loved it. Y'all either should hurry or wait a while. I think we're about to
Yes.
not visit China a bunch, but I loved it. It was
That's so
my
cool
cousins
you got to
live
see
there,
it.
and we got to go visit. It was like, while you have family, that is when you should
Wow,
go.
yeah.
But it's awesome.
Wow,
It's amazing.
that's
So
amazing.
I'm excited for y'all for that. What about you, Emily? What sounds fun to you?
I think another, like you were saying about the sharks, I love things that I'm terrified or don't enjoy in the moment that
Yeah.
afterwards I look forward to. So another
Yeah.
one was when we climbed this volcano in Guatemala and we got to watch another volcano exploding overnight. And it was freezing. We
Is that
had
when y'all slept up there? I read about that.
yeah, we had altitude sickness, but just like feeling the ground shake beneath us and seeing it explode is something I always remember. So I'm sure we're going to have things like that on the upcoming West Africa
Yeah.
trip. And I look forward to finding the fun even when it's not always feeling like it in the
That's right.
moment.
That's right. Well, safe travels, you
Thank
guys.
you
We
so
can't wait to keep
much.
up with you. This is so fun. Oh, you guys, aren't they so fun? I know. That is like Friday show to a T. Be sure to check out more about their story at hudsonandemily.com and follow along with their adventures on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. It's all Hudson and Emily. And tell them thanks so much for being on the show today. If you love this episode, and I know you did, and you know someone else who you think would enjoy it, I've already got 2 friends in mind that I'm going to make sure they hear this episode all about travel. Be sure to share it with your friends. Shoot them a text, hit send, post it on your social media. It means the world to us when you invite your friends in on these conversations. And did you know, have you seen that Sounds Fun podcast has its own Instagram now? We have got a place to tell you more things, show you more behind the scenes, and carry on more conversations with you specifically about these shows on the podcast. So today, when you see that picture of Hudson and Emily, I want you to go to That Sounds Fun podcast. Tell me where you want to travel that you have not gotten to travel yet. Okay, so we heard what sounds fun to Hudson and Emily, and now we get to hear what sounds fun to one of our friends who's listening, just like you. All right, Ruth Ann, because the show is called That Sounds Fun, tell me what sounds fun to you.
Hi, I'm Ruth Ann. I'm from Albany, Georgia, and what sounds fun to me is having some friends over for a game night.
Really? I did not know you were a game
Yes.
night person. Okay, what are your games? What are your everybody gets there, what's sitting on the table?
So probably some of my favorites are Villainous. It is a Disney.
Craig is nodding his head. He knows this game.
Yeah, so it is. It's a great one. So it is a Disney strategy game.
Got it.
So everybody has their own boards, and
Yes.
it is so you're playing as a villain. So you're trying to complete whatever the villain is in the movie. You're trying
Yes.
to complete their goals.
Yes. Okay.
So, yeah. Mhm.
Wow. Okay. So Villainous is
Yes.
out. Is there anything else that's always out?
Ticket to Ride is always a great one.
Yeah.
Um,
Easy to learn too, right? Ticket to Ride's easy for people to learn.
Ticket to Ride is a great one. We love to play Nerds or Dutch Blitz, which
Yeah.
are kind of the same thing. And those are kind of the standard go-tos around here.
What are we snacking on?
Popcorn,
Yeah.
Cheez-Its.
Yeah. Oh, bless.
Um,
Yes. I'll take
yeah.
popcorn and Cheez-Its and Villainous. That sounds great to me.
Yes.
I love it. Oh, I love it. Okay, if you need anything else from me, you know I'm embarrassingly easy to find. Annie F. Downs on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the places you may need me. That is how you can find me, including preaching at Crosspoint Church this Sunday. So if you want to watch online, it's crosspoint.tv/live at 9 a.m., 11 a.m., and 5:30 p.m. Central. I think that's it for me today, friends. Go out or stay home and do something that sounds fun to you, and I'll do the same. Today, what sounds fun to me is finishing up my sermon for Sunday. You guys, I'm teaching on humility. That is so hard. Pray me through, people. Pray me through. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday with our good friend, Addison Bevere. We're talking about prayer. You're going to love it. And you'll already love him. Me too. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.